Hey, this is Pietruszko. I will now recreate for you one of the patches I did for the Multiphonics CV-3 factory library, the Tubular Bells patch. It sounds like this. So let's start with a blank patch and use some of the new modules in CV-3, the Objeq oscillator and the tube oscillator. We'll feed them with a trigger pulse from the keyboard, also velocity, and of course pitch. But in order to achieve a proper tuning ratio for this sound, we'll drop this an octave to C3 and tune the Objeq oscillator up to C4. Let's do some tweaks here. We'll drop density. And now we'll route both of these into the output. Let's lower the volume to prevent overload from these two combined. Especially since we'll be routing Objeq oscillator into the external audio input on the tube oscillator. We'll choose this model. This sounds like this so far. So let's increase the decay. So this is already starting to sound nice. And let's switch to polyphony since CV-3 is now polyphonic. Cool, that sounds more like it. While we'll add the decay, we'll use this macro to control decay on both. And we'll name this bell decay. And we'll also use the third macro as bell tone to control the material. So we'll be able to make this sound more metallic. Okay, so this should be nice. But let's make this bigger. We'll mix the output of these two and route them into the reverberator module, also a new addition to CV-3. Let's make it huge, arena model, large decay, bright reverb without the low end, a substantial mix, more late reflections, a lot of diffusion, and early reflections will push them forward. We'll route them in stereo, so these two are panned, and drop the volume a bit. Let's try it. And we'll route this macro as reverb decay. Okay, so now to introduce some movement to this patch, we'll use a random modulating source. So we'll use a noise source, a sample and hold module, and a VCA. So this is going to be sampled and gated with 8 notes coming out of the master clock. And this output will go into the VCA controlled by the mod wheel. And this output will go to modulate the tone on both of the oscillators. And also it will do this sort of a sample and hold stepped modulation to the high cut of the reverberator. So we get this glitchy type of modulation. Now we'll use Mod 2, which is Aftertouch in my setup, to modulate the timbre of the Objeq oscillator. And we'll finish this up with the oscilloscope in XY mode, where both channels will be fed from the respective oscillators for some Lissajous figures here. And that's how it's done.